We work in the dark to serve the light. We are assassins. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. With this mantra in mind, a hooded figure scales the nearest building to get a better point of view. On the hunt for an elusive target, this blade in the crowd puts all of their skills to good use. Their target may run, their target may hide, but no matter how far they run, no matter how well they hide, they will meet an untimely end. One way or the other. With that, this assassin, this killer with a cause, disappears into a sea of people without a trace. Let's be honest here, folks. I am a big fat nerd, and I am not proud of it per se, but I also am, just gonna lean fully into that. I mean, you saw that intro. I love Assassin's Creed. It is my favorite series. I've been a fan of it for as long as I can remember. Something about the historically fictitious tales of a brotherhood in an endless secret war against insurmountable odds, all the while donning hoods that are menacing and wielding hidden blades. Oh, damn it. There it is. It's really cool to me. The game that drew me in was Assassin's Creed 3. There was an Imagine Dragons radioactive music video that used footage from its cinematic trailer, and that mixture is what got me fascinated with all of it. That or the Smosh Assassin's Creed 3 video, I can't remember. I don't remember. It could have been both. I don't know. I am pretty sure it was the Imagine Dragons, but it could have been the Smosh. It doesn't matter. I was a history buff, and the American Revolution was my particular cup of tea. The depiction of a lone warrior taking out redcoats, inspiring rebels, all the while General Washington watched from the barracks. It was all pretty sweet, I absolutely had to play 3. You don't get it. I saw that game, I saw everything it was promising me, and I wanted it. Nothing was going to deter me except for the lack of money and the fact I didn't have anything to play it on. But that didn't stop me. I grabbed my mom's old work laptop, and that worked. In all of its 2-frame glory, I got to play Assassin's Creed 3. I got my taste, and I wanted more. Of the bunch, I think I played Black Flag the most, or at least I 100%ed it the most. 3, however, was always going to be the favorite, the one I absolutely loved. I mean, American Revolution. Who doesn't love the American Revolution? Don't say the British. At least until Unity was announced. Once Unity was announced, that became my new obsession. I had to play Unity, and I got my hands on it. And it didn't work on my laptop. My laptop just could not run Unity. My little turning down the resolution trick didn't help. So, my next mission in life at the time was to build a gaming PC. But the whole, being a middle schooler and having no job thing kind of got in the way there. I wouldn't get to play the game until probably the summer of 2016. Assassin's Creed Syndicate came out, and I was like, oh cool, I want to play that, but first, I have to play Unity. And once I got to play Unity, boy, I'll tell you, I could not put my hands down. That doesn't make sense. I couldn't keep my hands off of it. More accurately, off the controller of my brand new pre-owned Xbox One that I managed to chore my way into getting. And once I had that console, it was just me and Assassin's Creed Unity and a little bit of Syndicate here and there, but Unity outshined anything else. I look back on those first playthroughs with the rosiest tint of glasses. Of course, my obsession bled out into the real world. I mean, I was such a big fan that I went to my school's homecoming dance dressed up as Jacob Fry. I even made a club, an Assassin's Creed club. I think I wanted to call it the Assassin's Brotherhood, but I couldn't call it that, so I ended up calling it something else. Some sort of Roman name. because of, brotherhood and, it being in Rome. But anyway, I had so many plans for that club. I wanted to have activities that my members could do to go from novice to master. And I don't know, at the end of the year, I wanted to get rings that we could all wear, and we'd be the assassins. That never panned out. I completely just gave up on it, and I just started bringing my Xbox to school and playing Assassin's Creed on the projectors that the teachers had. Pretty cool. And after I gave up on the whole club thing, I just started bringing my Xbox to school, plugging it into the projectors of the teachers who would let me, and then, playing whatever. I played Red Dead 2 in high school on a projector. I was awesome to me, and a few others. Kind of sad to other people, most. Kind of sad to most, but moving on. I also stabbed my history teacher with this specific hidden blade. On accident. It wasn't on purpose. It was an accident, but I still did it. Safe to say, my obsession should have gotten me expelled. Point is, if you knew me in high school, you knew I was a big fan of Assassin's Creed. And also really sad. But moving on from that, the next game was going to be coming out around that time, and the next game was like a big deal for me because I could finally play a brand new Assassin's Creed. But I didn't just want to play it. I've had a want to make YouTube videos for as long as I could remember. After watching Tomska, Markiplier, Tobuscus, all those creators back in the day, I just wanted to make things people could enjoy. When Origins first came out, I saw it as an opportunity. I tried way too hard when I made those videos back in the day.
Hello, what is up, YouTube? I am SDJ, and this is a gameplay walkthrough of Assassin's Creed Origins.
To make them, I had to unhook my Xbox from my setup and connect it to my dad's computer because his computer was the only good computer in the house that could do video editing. And then if I wanted to play any games in my free time, I would have to unhook the Xbox, go back and hook it to my TV, and then if I wanted to make a YouTube video, I had to unhook it there and then go back and then go back and forth and back and forth. It was a frustrating process, to say the least. And it also hindered my enjoyment of playing Origins the first time. Once I gave up on doing YouTube that first time around, I sat down and I played Origins. And I genuinely enjoyed myself. When it comes to games, my top 3 are 3, Unity, and Origins. All of these games being points in the series that completely changed the series from a gameplay standpoint. In the case of Origins, the changes brought were welcome changes for sure, but gameplay mechanics and the feel of the series as a whole were completely different. These were things left out that I was eventually going to miss. Gameplay-wise, if I were to describe an Assassin's Creed game, it would be as an open-world action game with a heavy focus on stealth. At least that's how it used to be. Each one provided you with either a singular map or multiple maps that you could explore and climb. Parkour was one of my favorite and one of the coolest aspects of the series. Scaling buildings, running rooftops, and of course, leaps of faith. When it came to stealth, I wanted to perfect it every time. Each encounter like its own puzzle, watching guards and their routes, waiting for the perfect moment to strike, whittling them down until no one is left standing. Of course, with stealth being the main way you were supposed to play these games, combat was, I feel, perceived as rather simplistic. And in many ways, it is actually rather simplistic. In all the games before Unity, you could essentially be an unstoppable force when you spammed the counter button. If you did play it this way, however, you would be doing yourself a disservice. At least with all the games up until 3. The first 4 games had an intricate system of grabbing, strafing, and kicking. You could control the fight and decide just how you wanted to take somebody out. Want to grab someone as a human shield? You can do that. You want to throw them off a roof? You can do that. 3 to Rogue changed the way combat was done. It was essentially the same, but faster and with a lot more style. with chain kills on top of that. The combat changes in these games were much easier and not as in-depth as the originals. Despite that, it's still fun. Mortal Kombat throwing the rope dart will never get old to me. They released games on a yearly basis, and when 3 games for 3 years in a row have a recycled combat system, people are going to end up wanting innovation. Hence all the changes that Unity brought, and eventually all the changes that Origins and Onward would bring. Those changes being that of turning the series into action RPGs that focused on combat with the option of stealth. Odyssey was the first game I wasn't initially happy to hear about, mostly because the game took place before there were assassins. Origins was the tale of how the assassins came to be. Odyssey took place a few hundred years before that. The series was fully leaning into the action RPG elements Origins had introduced. They took out the hidden blade, which of course I missed. I wanted it. I mean, look at this thing. It's so cool. Proper assassin robes, which they couldn't even get right when they did add them way later. The world was the biggest the series had known, and with that I found it wasn't exactly designed to do the fun parkour the series was known for. You could do it here and there, but I found it really hard to stay off the ground. Despite my grievances, I love Odyssey. Odyssey is one of the best RPGs I personally have ever played, and I've played a lot of them. There's something about climbing a mountain and being able to see Athens in the distance. There was a moment where this happened, and that moment brought me to tears, and it was because I climbed a mountain, saw Athens, and I was like, whoa, I can just go there. No loading screen. All the while, the game looks absolutely gorgeous. I also loved the fact that they were leaning more heavily into the mythical side of things rather than the historical side of things. History was still there, but Greek gods, right? Greek gods, Egyptian gods, that whole thing they leaned more into, and I very much enjoyed it. And on top of that, the story. The story was really good. I loved getting the proper ending I wanted, the ending I wanted to have, and I loved seeing how it all intertwined with the rest of the series. I have my complaints, but overall, I enjoyed it. After Syndicate, they stopped releasing games on a yearly basis and now have been releasing games with longer development cycles. I put about 250-ish hours in Odyssey. I opened my mind and I let myself have fun. But I wanted really badly to have assassins again, to have a hidden blade, for stealth to be more of a focus. And then Valhalla was announced. And Valhalla, I remember being so excited for. I watched the announcement trailer over and over and over and over again. I couldn't have been more excited for something. I pre-ordered the collector's edition. I even bought a drinking horn, like an actual Viking drinking horn, and drank out of it. I don't know where it is, but I got one. The Hidden Blade was back, therefore the Assassins were back. And on top of that, the game was being developed by people who developed Black Flag and Origins. I saw this as everything I wanted and more. I had enjoyed Odyssey, but I very much missed the classic gameplay that I had been wanting to play since, I guess, Origins. But I thought there was no way I was going to be disappointed, and for a while that was true. In those first few hours I was elated, exploring Norway's snowy peaks and then sailing with your clan to ancient England for a new home, living the Viking fantasy. There was much that drew me in. Being able to build a home village, upgrading that living space. I love that. I always love having a build your base function in a game that's not necessarily about building your base. River raiding was so much fun. Blowing your horn, then joining your Vikinger in battle. Burning and pillaging. Really cool. The combat was super fun. I love how nonchalantly a hand or head is severed when you're swinging your axes. The story was captivating as well, and I love how it was essentially an origin for the Templars, the main antagonists of the Assassins throughout the entirety of the series. But when it came to stealth, parkour, to cool outfits, to playing as an assassin, I found myself disappointed. I kept hoping during my nigh 300-hour run of the game that I would reach a turning point, where stealth was captivating, where I didn't have to resort to just going in hacking and slashing after I messed up an encounter. I was hoping that I would find an upgrade that would make Eivor much more spry, and a town or village where parkour was fun and not sluggish and slow. Oh my god, Eivor is so slow. To me, at least. I was hoping to find classic assassin robes, and to play as an assassin, but Eivor outright chooses not to be. The outfits also never really did it for me. Only the original outfit and the Grandmaster one did. But even then, the way they did the clothing physics left much to be desired. With update after update, I was hoping that something would spark, that the magic of the series would return, but time and time again, I was left disappointed. I finished the story, the DLC that was included with the Season Pass, and after that, I was pretty much done. I kept my ear to the ground for any updates that would have sparked my interest. You know, maybe a Legacy outfit here and there. I did come back for Legacy outfits, but nothing gave me what I wanted. I think my breaking point when it came to the news cycle around Valhalla was when it was announced they were supposedly adding Iron Man armor to the game. Cool. Okay. Makes sense. It's been 5 or so years since I've truly felt good about a game in the series. I truly let myself enjoy a game in the series. I mean, I enjoyed Odyssey, and I enjoyed Valhalla up to a point, but there was just... the magic for me was gone, I guess. I don't know. The thing that I enjoyed about all the games that preceded those two, it wasn't there. And it could have been the most minor things to the biggest changes they made. And, you know, I'm not saying if you are a fan of those games, I'm not saying that you're wrong for that. You are valid. You are as much a fan as I am. There's a fly around here. I'm sorry about that. You're as much a fan as I am. And I don't want to take away from that. You know, there's a lot of gatekeeping in this community, I think, when it comes to what games we like, and at the end of the day, we're all Assassin's Creed fans. It's just that I've been personally disappointed with quite a few of the things they've been putting out lately, and I know I can always go back and play those games that I loved and fell in love with, but I would like something new, and we're getting it. Mirage is now just around the corner, only a few days out as I'm recording this video. And with everything that's been said in the Ubisoft Forward events, in the trailers, everything, all of what it promises, I find myself getting excited. I find myself in that same position I was when Valhalla was first announced. Finally, a game that's catered to a fan like me, but I'm now worried. Granted, I have more reason to be excited for Mirage than I was for Valhalla. The way it's returning to the series' roots with the focus on stealth and all those old mechanics the series left behind. The fluid-looking parkour I've been absolutely missing. The beautiful world and the much more vertical design of it. The cool and impactful ways Basim assassinates. The way it's paying homage to the very first game. The focus on tools rather than skills. The outfits. The clothing physics. From what I've seen, it is everything I wanted it to be and more. Mixing all of those old mechanics I've yearned for with some of the new. But, I know, Ubisoft has the full capacity to absolutely drop the ball. I mean, just look at Unity. Unity, let's talk about Unity real quick. Unity is a perfect example of Ubisoft promising us fans the world and completely screwing up. Parkour was completely revamped. It was fluid, and if you took the time to learn it, really satisfying. Assassinations were stylish and smooth. Blink and you'll miss it. I love just walking past a dude and slicing his throat while continuing forward like it never happened. Combat had been reworked to not be the same counter system we had been getting, and if a fight was getting too hairy, you were encouraged to just escape. There were so many customization options, so many weapons you could play with. The game was the first next-gen Assassin's Creed, and it looked like it. It was gorgeous, and some would say it looks better than some of the modern games in a few aspects. And it was co-op, with up to 4 players. I also really loved the story. I loved that it was a love story set in Paris, and in general, Unity as a whole, I just consider one of my favorites. The game knows what games came before it, and it pays homage in so many ways. In one of the first missions of the game, you break out of the Bastille while Parisian citizens are breaking in. It's the storming of the Bastille. One of the best moments in the series as a whole. The rising tension throughout the level as you escape with your mentor. Parkouring outside the prison as people rush the guards inside. The way the soundtrack keeps building and building until you have to take a leap of faith. The way the camera follows Arnaud through his leap of faith, then pans over the city of Paris that's burning while Ezio's family kicks in over the title of the game. So good! This moment alone gives me the impression that Unity was meant to be a love letter to us fans at the time of its release. And this game was the worst, the most infamous game to have ever been released, probably ever. Bugs upon bugs upon bugs. The only reason I like Unity is because my experience was only ever slightly buggy since I only played it well after the initial launch. But I could see myself hating it had I played it during that time. What hurts is I can see what the game could have been had Ubisoft not screwed up. The best game in the series, potentially. But no, it's just nothing but wasted potential. What could have been. I'm really hoping Mirage isn't another Ubisoft screw-up. I'm 70% sure I'm going to be able to dig into the game and just enjoy it for what it is. Classic Assassin's Creed fun. What me and so many other fans have been desiring. I've loved everything I've seen so far in the trailers. Maybe give us double assassinations back. Maybe give us all the legacy outfits. That'd be cool. I'd like that. But, after Mirage, what then? Ubisoft has now created themselves an issue. Two kinds of fans wanting two different kinds of games from the same IP. So what? They switch off and cater to both until these games are no longer profitable? An RPG one year, a classic the next? Assassin's Creed Red is supposed to be the next RPG. The next big 200+ hour experience. I ask you this. Why can't both types of fans be happy? I do love those longer games and all they have to offer. I adore being able to explore entire countries. But why can't we have parkour that's fast and quick and fluid? Why can't we have sprawling countrysides with a large vertical city in the distance? A massive open world with large cities sprinkled throughout for awesome parkour opportunities? Why can't the game maintain all of the more recent RPG styles of gameplay while offering a satisfying and engaging stealth experience? Have both combat and stealth be viable options. As I speak, I find myself thinking more and more about Ghost of Tsushima, and how basically that game combines both of what I love about newer Assassin's Creed with what I loved about older Assassin's Creed. The sprawling open worlds, the satisfying stealth, the intricate combat. I think Assassin's Creed Red, whenever that comes out, should take notes from Ghost of Tsushima. But we're really too far out to be talking about Red. I'm just rambling at this point. Whenever it does come out, I hope that fans of the originals and fans of the newer games can both equally enjoy whatever it ends up being. I hope Ubisoft can deliver, but my faith in what they can do is kind of, I don't know. This video is all just my thoughts and feelings documented in video form. Just a bunch of rants and rambling. But it does feel good to get that all out there, I have it all pent up in here and I just want to put it into something. I've wanted to make a video about this series for the longest time, and I just never really found my footing, which, it's been a year since my last video. Not the best track record at all, but I'm hoping to make more. There's definitely so much more when it comes to Assassin's Creed that I want to talk about. I'll save that all for another potential video. Thank you so much for watching this video. Are you going to be playing Mirage? Why or why not? What is your favorite Assassin's Creed? What would be the best Assassin's Creed ever to come out if they were going to make another one, and if you could control it? Can you survive a drinking game with the amount of times I've said Assassin's Creed in this video alone? Let me know in the comments. Have a wonderful day. See you later. And, thank you again for watching. Preach.